Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do our very first alpha dungeon preview, and that is the dungeon, the Ruby Life Pools, which is one of the dungeons of Dragonflight. But before we jump into that, guys, just want to shout out the sponsor of this video, and that is Raid Shadow Legends.
Explore millions of champion combinations and master countless tactics as you take on raid bosses, dungeon runs, campaign battles, and even PvP arena matches. If you've heard of Raid, you know it's got a ton of champions, over 600, but it's also got an insane variety of bosses too, so let's take a look at one of those today. The boss we're looking at is a dragon called Hellraiser from the Dragon's Lair dungeon. If you want to beat Hellraiser in the dungeon, try bringing champions that can clear debuffs and put up shields, because you want to try and tank Hellraiser's breath attack. Otherwise, bring heavy hitter champions that can rip away huge amounts of health in a very short time, as Hellraiser has a ton of health. And there's a ton happening at Raid this month. They're bringing out 5 brand new champions, overhauling the Champions Vault, and they got a load of awesome smaller updates as well. And on top of all of that, Raid is running a huge series of Summer Splash events for the whole month, where you can get your hands on some new skins for everyone's favorite dwarf, Trunda. This is the best time to get started with Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen, you'll get a unique bonuses worth $30. We're talking a free epic champion Tyrell and all the other bonuses that you can see on the screen right now. So all of these amazing bonuses will be waiting for you right here. And thanks again to Raid for sponsoring this video. Okay, so this is hopefully going to be a start of a series where we kind of go through the dungeon, more of a preview than a guide, and a bit of a walkthrough, kind of talking about the bosses, the trash, and yeah, so I'm basically going to commentate over a run that we did very recently. So the Ruby Life Pools is located in the Waking Shore, which is the first zone of Dragonflight. It's a great dungeon, it's really short, it's 3 bosses, really fun mechanics, and yeah, just an all-round good time with friends. So we're going to talk about this run that we did on the alpha on the stream. Check out the stream. We do a lot of stuff on stream, so if you want to see that kind of live, check it out on stream. Okay, so this is the loading screen. The loading screen is amazing. It's a really great loading screen. Honestly, all of the loading screens are really good in Dragonflight. So the dungeon starts off, as you can see, I'm a hunter, a Volpira hunter. I don't play Horde, so I just play Volpira for funsies, because it's funny, yeah. Anyway, so this is the Primal Juggernaut. This is going to be our first kind of NPC that we encounter here. Pretty easy. There's not a ton of trash, at least at the beginning of this dungeon, to be honest. But as we go through, we're just going to take out some of these easy to kill trash. Nice and easy. There is actually some Night Elves in here, which is really interesting. So you'll see a few Night Elves here and there, and actually one of the bosses is a Night Elf as well. So yeah, essentially all this trash here is pretty simple, pretty tank and spank, avoid the swirlies. Not too much of a headache, if I'm completely honest. As you come around this corner, we're kind of looking at one of like the mini bosses of such, and that is Defiler Draghard. Defiler Draghard, a little bit tougher than just the regular kind of trash. Not too bad though. This is on heroic and scaled, so to be honest, we kind of kill stuff pretty easily. Again, just avoid stuff on the floor. That is kind of the most part of all dungeons in World of Warcraft. So we're now looking at our first boss. This is Melidrussa Chillworn. This is a Night Elf NPC, as you can see, and we're going to kind of run through the boss here. As I said, like, this isn't going to be a guide as such, just kind of talk about mechanics and whatnot to avoid and as such. So fight starts. It does a ability called Frigid Shard. Now what that's going to do, this is actually going to put a swirly on one of the players. As you can see, the Drakthir here does get a swirly, and they got to run out with that, because what happens a couple seconds after, it kind of explodes, and it goes to drag you in. Now, as you're being dragged in, there's also going to be swirlies on the floor, bringing up some spikes, some frosty spikes, which also you have to avoid here. Pretty simple fight, to be honest. That is kind of that first part of the fight. Then a bunch of awakened whelps come out. It's pretty simple with that. There are many whelps, and you just have to handle them. But to be honest, as I said, it is heroic, so we just kind of like face rolled it, got all the whelps together, and just kind of AoE'd them down while taking out Melidrussa. And that was basically it. That was the fight. I don't know if there's any other mechanics that we missed or I missed, but that is the first boss of the Ruby Life Pools. Pretty easy fight, and after the fight, you'll see these drakes will spawn, and you'll just mount those and go up to the surface. Just kind of fly up past all of these like really nice looking things. This is a place that you can go in the outdoor world as well. It's actually a quest zone. But yeah, it looks really, really nice as you fly up on one of those new drakes. And then you'll encounter the second boss. Yeah, you'll be seeing the second boss straight away. This is actually Kokia Blazehoof. We're not going to be killing her just yet, because you have to do a bunch of things first. What do you have to do? Well, you have to run around the perimeter
of the Pit of Death and kill a bunch of adds. What you'll see there in the back there is one of the big elementals. Now there's going to be, I think, 4 or 5 of these that you have to kill, and once they're defeated, the boss will become available to kill. Essentially here you just want to run around and you want to kill all of the adds here. This big NPC, as they get down to pretty much 0 health, they'll do something called burnout. You just have to run away from that because it will explode. However, there is another NPC here called a Primalist Flame Dancer who will also do a very similar move called Blaze of Glory, but this is more for melee, so when he's kind of dying, he'll do like a big spinning move, and then will eventually die similar to the big elemental. So essentially here, as I said, you just have to run around, kill the small NPCs, the Scorchlings, and kill the big ad, which will essentially just do the same mechanics each time. And I believe there's about 5 of those kind of attacking the eggs here. That is kind of the story of what's going on, as this is like a hatchery of sorts for the Dragonflights. So as I said, we're just kind of running around this area, killing these adds. Pretty easy to do. As I said, heroic, just kind of a face roll. And I would imagine there's maybe going to be some more mechanics in Mythic as we roll into that in later testing. So yeah, we take all these out, and the boss becomes attackable. So now we are going to take on Kokia Blazehoof. Now, I believe in this first run, we actually wipe. Yep, yeah, we wiped. So then we go again. This boss is a little bit tough. It does take a little bit of positioning, so here we go. So we're going to take out the boss. This boss does some cool mechanics, actually. It spawns one of those big elemental guys, which will do the exact same mechanics as the adds that we did see around the Pit of Death. And it will also do the ability when it dies as well, so you have to avoid that. Also, Kokia will do a big molten kind of rolling ball, which is really fun. You can see here that I do get hit by it because I suck at World of Warcraft. But yeah, you just got to avoid that. It will spawn pretty quickly. It's a little swirly in front of her, and then it will roll forward from that swirly, so you just have to avoid that, obviously. But yeah, as I said, it does do the burnout ability, so you have to just avoid that and just take out the boss. And that is essentially the entire fight here. Not too bad. I mean, I'm sure there is some tank mechanics and whatnot, but for the most part, just take out the big ad as soon as possible, because there will be a second ad if you don't kill it quick enough. So yeah, just keep on top of the ad, keep on top of the boss, avoid the rolling ball, and you will take out the boss nice and easy. Now, what happens next is actually you roll straight into the last boss. Yeah, I wasn't joking about this dungeon being short. This is a very, very short dungeon. This is going to be a very, very sought-after key in Dragonflight. Now, we haven't seen all the dungeons yet, so maybe there is some shorter ones, but I very much doubt that. Our last boss is Kyrakka and Erkhart Stormvein, I believe. This is a troll and a proto-drake of sorts. Now, these do have 2 different health pools, so we will see that happen throughout the fight here. Now, the fight does start with the troll jumping down, so you will be taking on the troll first. But while you're taking on the troll, the proto-drake will be jumping down and blasting out some fire. It gets pretty messy around here. There's also some wind kind of sweeping you around as well, so there's a lot of kind of movement in this fight. And of course, avoiding all of the swirlies are going to spawn these awesome looking lava pools around the fight area. Around about 50% the troll will mount on top of the proto-drake, and you'll be attacking both. Now, you can actually choose to attack one or the other. If you kill the troll, the proto-drake will just come out and you attack the proto-drake. If you kill the proto-drake, then you will just be attacking the troll at this point. But it is essentially the same mechanics here. It will be doing some fire abilities, some swirlies on the floor, just kind of a lot of movement, a lot of wind, and things like that for the fight. But it is a fun fight. There is a lot of room on the platform, but for the evoker healing, because they're mid-range, you don't want to run too far away because you won't be able to get hit by their heals. So you just got to keep an eye on that when you have an evoker in your group like we did. As you see, we take out the trolls, so we will be just attacking Kyrakka here, the awesome looking proto-drake. And as I said, just a lot of fire abilities on the floor, a lot of swirlies, a lot of fire breath, and pretty easy to just kind of get that down as mentioned. So that is the run. Kana did die, unfortunately, but that's okay. We did get the run done. So this is, yeah, the Ruby life pools on heroic mode on the Dragonflight Alpha. Now, if you want to see more dungeon runs kind of like this, as I said, it's not kind of a guide, bit more of a preview, just showing you the dungeon and the bosses and stuff like that. So if you like the kind of more casual guide like this, let me know. Let me know if you want to see all of the dungeons of Dragonflight. I'm happy to do it. I think it's a fun little video and a little bit of an experiment for the channel. So yeah, let me know down below, guys. And also let me know what you think of the Ruby life pools in Dragonflight. I think it's a fun dungeon. As I said, 3 bosses, very easy to do, very quick. It's going to be a very, very good Mythic Plus key for sure. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Before I go, let's give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs. You guys are awesome. And if you'd like to support the channel in any of those ways, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I've also got a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members. And as I said, I'm now streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me streaming World of Warcraft, Dragonflight Alpha Beta, Wrath of the Lich King as well, any sort of World of Warcraft content, guys, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.